Alright, welcome to the very first episode of Now We Talking. I'm your host, Sly Jones. Got my co-host, the always sometime Rod Brown here.
What up, everybody? What
up? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, at the end of this video, and leave a comment, if you want to, discuss what it is me and him debating today, which is going to be something a little different than what people typically discuss. You had discussions where people are discussing who's the top 5, top 10 rappers of all time, but nobody really discusses who's the best in each region. You got the South, the West Coast, the East Coast, and the Midwest/North. So we're going to go through each region and give you guys our opinions on who we think are the top 3 in each region. And we're going to debate each other's, lists accordingly. So I'm going to start off. We're going to start on the West Coast, where at number 3, which was real tough for me. A lot of my number 3s was tough for me. But I'm going to roll with Snoop Dogg. Snoop got one of the most classic albums of all time. He can rap. He got longevity, and he's been around a long time. So at number 3, I'm rolling with Snoop. Number 2 is probably going to be my most controversial one. I'm going with The Game. As you can tell by my co-host's reaction, he don't like my pick, but consistency is big with me, and he's been real consistent. He had a classic first album. What was that, the Red album? I liked a lot. His latest project, I thought was hot. So, and I think in my opinion, he's probably the best rapper to ever come from the West, skill-wise. And number 1, which we had a little debate on whether or not he should be on the list at all, considering he was born in New York, and that's Tupac Shakur. He go without saying. He's a icon. Numerous classic albums. Classic moments. He was in one of the most classic battles in hip hop history. And just overall, he's just number 1 in the West to me. So now I'm gonna pass it on to my co-host, and we're gonna get to his list, and he's gonna let you guys know who he got as the top 3.
The Game, huh? Wow. All right, well, I'm about to give y'all my top 3 from the West. Okay, number 3, I had to go with Dr. Dre or whatever. I know he's more like a producer, but he didn't put out albums, of course. He the architect behind NWA. He the architect basically behind Snoop, Eminem, Dre. 50. Yeah. He produced for The Game. So he been pretty much the West Coast architect or whatever. So pretty much all of the biggest rappers from the West Coast, he had something to do with it. And on his own, he got The Chronic is a classic. The Chronic 2000 probably a classic too. So he got 2 classics, separate. Of course, Doggy Style, Snoopy produced the whole entire album. Like I said, I agree with him. The Game first album, the documentary classic, he produced a lot on that album as well. 50 first album, Get Rich or Die Trying, Eminem, and all the NWA or whatever and stuff. So I gotta go with the Doctor. Number 2, I gotta go with my man who he be hating on, Ice Cube or whatever and stuff. So of course, he was, architect, with NWA too. He was doing a lot of the writing for them, and then he branched off solo and even got bigger. So he was already in a classic group. Then he went on to be a classic solo artist with America's Most Wanted Death Certificate. His first 2 albums, those are classics or whatever and stuff. So he got the longevity, and a lot of influence as well. And also another what I liked about him, he was kind of groundbreaking. He was like the first West Coast rapper to work with Public Enemy, they production team on his album as well. So I like that about him. He got a lot of classic material. And then number 1, like I said, we gonna put him in the West Coast for our discussion. So yeah, we got to go with Pac. I mean, like I said, go without saying, he's probably the most influential MC and most big and mimic MC of all time or whatever and stuff. So I mean, he got a classic catalog from Tupacalypse Now all the way to Machiavelli. You know, I just count the ones when he was alive or whatever. So like I said, his influence is undeniable or whatnot. And yeah, I forgot Dr. Dre. I forgot Dre produced for him too when he signed to Death Row. So that's another person Dre touched on, just to go back to Dre. And that's my top 3 for the West.
Well, to correct him on something, I don't hate on Ice Cube. That was tough. At 3, I had Cube and Snoop. But
how you gonna put the Game over Cube?
Well, look, before I answer that, I want to let you guys know the criteria that we went by on deciding these people. There was 8 categories. We had lyricism, storytelling, commercial success, posse cuts / side appearances, classic albums, punchlines, longevities. And I also think it's important for MCs to engage in a battle of some sort, you know. And yeah, Cube had one of the most classic, you know,
couple classic. No Vaseline?
You know, yeah, you know, no Vaseline was dope. But when it was all said and done, the reason I picked Snoop over him, and you can argue the Game being out if you want to, but to me the Game is better than both of them. But I don't think I like Cube albums. I just don't think he got a classic.
You don't think America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate classic?
I think they're good albums. Wow. I mean, Death Certificate was my favorite. But
and on No Vaseline, he killed the whole group. It wasn't just one person. He
did. But who was good? Who did he wipe out that was good?
Wow.
Easy. I'm saying, like,
oh, wow.
And then, you know, they went at it with Common. He went at it with Common.
Yeah.
And I thought Common gave him the business.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And you know, and the Game got so many battles. You know, I mean, he done went at it with Meek Mill, with 50, with the whole G Unit crew. He done threw shots at Beanie Siegel. I mean, the list goes on and on with him. He ain't afraid to step in the ring with anybody. You know, I think it's when you Ice Cube and you write raps for Eazy-E, it's easy to battle him. Because you know you're not battling somebody talented. You know, and then when they came at Common, you know, it was 3 against 1, and I thought Common held his own. So, you know.
Yeah, he did.
But like I said, it was hard for me to leave him out. It was real hard.
Now explain to me how you put Snoop before Cube.
Because, again, Doggy Style.
That's it. Damn.
Doggy Style is classic.
That's it.
But it's and he's been around forever. He's still making songs. You know, he done done songs with everybody. You talk about Cube went over east and did Public Enemy. Snoop done worked with everybody. I'm talking about pop singers, R&B singers, Wu-Tang, everybody.
Uh-huh.
Dre don't belong on the list. He's not even a rapper, honestly, to be honest. The only thing you're going to say is he was influential and he produced. But when it comes to putting the pen to the paper, he's not even in the category. Think about the categories I just said. Lyricism, nope. Storytelling, if somebody wrote it for him.
You got to write your own songs on the list. So he got 2 classic albums.
Shouldn't that go without saying, though? Like, he has come out of his mouth and verbalized that people wrote for him.
Oh, well, we know that.
So he shouldn't be on the list.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well put. You got to write your own stuff on the list and add that to it. So we didn't know.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on for the sake of argument. We both had Pac on our list. But 2 and 3, we're gonna have to table that discussion for later. So next we're gonna go with the East, and this was probably my easiest region to do. Especially considering the era that I grew up in. Not that it was like, real easy, but it was, to me, these 3, solidified themselves as the top 3 people in the East Coast of all time. And at number 3, I got, Queensbridge on, Nasty Nas, Esco, you know, whatever you want to call him. Nas is, you know, he got longevity, lyricism, storytelling. He got everything. The only thing he really don't have is a good ear for production. You know, some reason he like to, and he don't have a whole lot of commercial success. He got some, you know, he made some songs that was on the radio, you know, but his downfall to me was he was a little too hip hop, you know. And then number 2, you know, he could easily been number 1 on this list, you know, and he might be, you know, at the end we finished debating it, but I got Jay-Z, you know, and his resume is probably the most unarguable resume in rap. I mean, classic albums, he sold a lot of records, he got posse cuts, I mean, and think about, I mean, I don't even know how many albums total. 13, 14 albums.
That's all.
And just about all of them were number 1. I mean, yeah, but yeah, Hov is, he on a whole nother level, which is probably why he really number 1. But I'm gonna get to my number 1 because, you know, personally, I think his career was taken away from him, you know, too soon. And if it wasn't, we would have been talking about him in the same light that I was just talking about Jay-Z. And that's the Notorious B.I.G. He only got 2 albums, and so the longevity obviously gonna be his first strike against him. But he get an A+ in just about every other category. He got, I mean, you can't really skip. There's a few songs you can skip on his albums, but not really. He got, you know, 3 discs that you can almost play all the way through. That is rare in hip hop. He got 2 classic albums. He was 2 for 2, you know, and to me, he's just number 1. I do want to give an honorable mention to LL. LL got a long list of hits and a lot of accolades, and he was hard to leave off the list, but it was either him or Nas, and I went with Nas. So now he gonna get to the crap that's on his list right now.
Well, we actually got the same 3, but I got the right order. So number 3, I got Jay-Z or whatever stuff. I mean, but like you said, it's an argument that he number 1. Like you said, he got the longevity, classic albums, a trendsetter.
Beyonce, you have to mention he had Beyonce. You know?
Yeah, she alright to me. You know, everybody like to take mine. But I mean, man, I said, like, he got the longevity, like you said, he got classic albums. I mean, he well rounded. I mean, he can give you everything. And like you said, he real consistent. You know, at the back when he was dropping them every year, back to back, giving you good product or whatever. I mean, I do think some of his albums they inflate or whatever, because after a while I think he just had the name or whatever and stuff. But he gonna have good music on all of the albums or whatever. So I do agree with him on that. In my opinion, he participated probably in the best battle, him and Nas too. And so he gave it to my boy on Takeover. You know what I'm saying? It was hard, Mobb Deep too or whatever and stuff. So I'm gonna go to my number 2. My number 2, Nas or whatever and stuff. Another one, he got the longevity. You know, he got classic albums. I mean, to me, I think he got Jay in the battle. Like you said, the only thing probably like is his production or whatever. He really didn't try to go commercials. So that's more impressive to me because he really was hip hop, whatever stuff. But for him to have all the #1 albums, all the platinum plaques, the gold plaques, he didn't amassed or whatever, you know, with his music, you know, he pretty much kept it pure or whatever and stuff. So, and pretty much to me, he almost like an A in almost everything too or whatever and stuff. So, that's why I would go with Nas for my number 2. And number 1, I got big like him or whatever and stuff. Like I said, he got 2 albums though, but they was classic or whatever and stuff. And the reason I choose him, I know people always talk about, but to me he was the most like well-rounded. I ain't gonna say it's not a perfect rapper, but he close to perfect as you could get. I mean, he had the flow, he was witty, he was a lyricist, he was storytelling, the voice, even his ad libs, his hooks. He can give you radio records, Big Papa Juicy, then give you hard records, Warning, then he give you conceptual records. Yes, yeah, spelling rap, the 10 Crack Commandments. I mean, it ain't nothing it ain't nothing he couldn't do or whatever. So even though it was short or whatever, but and I mean, whoever your top rapper is, you put their best 2 albums up against his best 2, he gonna be able to stand with it or whatever and stuff. So that's why I give Big number 1 or whatever.
So I got an issue with you having Nas over Jay-Z.
Here we go.
Why? What reason would Nas be over Jay-Z? Because he won the battle?
Nah, I think his album catalog better than Jay-Z's, in my opinion. I think he better than Jay-Z. I think he a better MC than Jay-Z.
Okay, but when we account, now if you say lyrically he better than Jay-Z, okay, I give you that. But then what about the rest of the categories? Like,
okay, let's get to it.
All right, longevity.
Well, Nas been out longer, but they both there.
Well, who had more relevant longevity?
What you mean, mainstream wise?
I mean, period. Like, if Nas dropped an album today, it ain't a big deal to the people. It's not. It's just not.
I don't know if Jay-Z a big deal to people anymore.
I don't know. Like 444 dropped. It was. It had the people ears ringing. That story of OJ had people talking. They got reaction videos to it from like older people, and I mean, I don't know how many videos he dropped from it, like 4 or 5 of them. They all had some sort of groundbreaking, material in it.
I don't know about that. Go ahead, man.
Punchlines.
I'll get that today.
Okay.
I'll get it to him.
Classic albums.
I think Nas got more classic than Jay-Z.
What classic albums do you give Nas?
Me, I think Illmatic classic. Now, I remember we used to say I Am, but we did a switch. You don't know. I got It Was Written, Stillmatic, and I think The Lost Tapes. And The Lost Tapes was his bootleg stuff that he put out later on. To me, that's classic. So I get him.
Do The Lost Tapes count, though?
Yeah, it's an album.
Okay. And how many and Jay-Z's classics?
In my opinion, he got 3.
What are they?
Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint 1, and American Gangster.
So the Blueprint 3 ain't classic?
The Blueprint 3? Nah. Give him about 4.5. Do the source rating 5 mics. He close. He was close on that one. I knew you gotta bring Volume 1. He was close, but nah. I don't really care for that song with
that's one song.
The one with Sauce Money too.
That's 2 songs.
I mean, his production was alright on that. It was cool. The City Is Mine, that was a great beat, huh?
The song was great.
I mean, I give him 4.5. He got a close call on that one.
So he got 3 classics and 3 close to classics?
I give him close on Volume 1. I give him close on Blueprint 3. And yeah, that's it.
What'd you think about 444?
It was good. I give him if I do a letter grade, I give him a B.
What close to classics do Nas have?
Close to classics? I say I Am, Godson. Let me see. I Am, Godson was a hard out. Really?
It was cool.
Oh, here you go.
You got a little flow. That's cool with me.
Yeah, let me see. Godson, I Am. Let me see what else.
Basically, you just made it sound like
that's probably about it. That's probably it.
Commercial success.
I mean, we go with Jay-Z, yeah.
Storytelling.
We already know that.
Some battling we gonna get at to Nas, and the lyricism we gonna get at Nas too, right?
Yeah, rest my case. What the gavel with?
All right, well, we're gonna agree to disagree. So we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go to the South. Again, Number three, super tough for me. I know I'm gonna get some flack for this one. Don't give me too much flack in the comments, but at number three, I got Ludacris. I was bouncing him and T.I. around, and it was tough. I even threw Mystical in there. I'm trying to decide, and it was tough. I went with Ludacris because I think he a better rapper than T.I. I think they're really close, but I think lyrically he's better than T.I. I think when it comes to putting pen to the paper, that's Ludacris. So, number two, old school. I grew up on him, so probably one of the best storytellers ever, and that's Scarface. He never really had a whole lot of commercial success as a solo artist. I mean, one of the biggest songs ever he was a part of, and that's My Mind Is Playing Tricks on Me, but that was a part of his group. But as a solo artist, he never really had a whole lot of commercial success, a lot of songs on the radio, but he can hold his, he's shown that he can get on songs with Jay-Z and Beanie Siegel and The Game. He can get on tracks and just hold his own with everybody. And his album catalog is pretty good too. He got a bunch of close to classics to me. Number one, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, he done it all, man. How many kid artists went from 14-year-old person that's wobbly, not really putting the lyrics out there like that to when you think mixtapes, you think Lil Wayne. Who made mixtapes more popular than him? I mean, he got 20 mixtapes, 12 studio albums. I mean, that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of work. Nobody worked harder than him. Nobody ever in the history of rap. And if he didn't have all this Cash Money situation with, Baby holding them hostage, basically, we don't know how many albums he would have put out. How many classic work. And he founded Drake and Nicki Minaj. I know that don't have nothing to do with the criteria we going by, but that's, something to be said, like he found some talent, good talent, So, that's my three. So who you rolling with from the South?
You got cheat off my paper. Well, number three, I got to go with Scarface or whatever and stuff. I mean, like you said, he was part of a classic group, the Ghetto Boys, and he branched out or whatever. Like you said, he had a great solo career. Like I said, he really never aimed for radio play like that or whatever. Like I said, he one of the best storytellers or whatever to ever come. Like I said, he got like I said, he did stuff with everybody. Like I said, Jay, Nas, he well respected by everybody or whatever and stuff. So, I think he one of the most underrated MCs too or whatever. So, but I definitely will put him on.
Not to cut you off, but I do want to let everybody know. Shout out to Andre 3000 too, because he only didn't make our list because he was a group rapper. Right. We eliminated group rappers from this conversation. We were talking about people dropping solo albums, so I just wanted to throw that out there real quick before he finished his list.
Yeah, he definitely will be up. Yeah. Number two, like you said, Ludacris and T.I. I went with T.I. or whatever. I mean, I do agree with him. I do think Ludacris is a better lyricist or whatever and stuff, but like the whole trap music movement, the whole trap thing, I mean, I gotta credit that with T.I., like with his second album, trap music or whatever, when he took off a Rubber Band Man, the 24s, he really one got the trap music thing, basically like on the mainstream level, whatever. And Ludacris, he don't really, I know he came out with an album, whatever stuff, but his relevance, he really ain't relevant like that anymore. And so I think T.I. longevity or whatever, he's still going or whatnot. And I mean, I like T.I. album catalog. What I'm trying to tell him or whatever and stuff. But he got a pretty good album catalog. I mean, I think he a good rapper, but you know, some certain artists they know how to put together songs. I think he a real good song maker. I like his production or whatever. You know, he had good hooks. And, like I said, I think he good or whatever and stuff. So, so that's why I went with T.I. At number one, yeah, I gotta agree with him. Hey, yeah. The good one. I mean, I ain't crazy about him. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I think he a good rapper or whatever. But I don't think he the greatest people say, but he good though. But like I said, I can't argue with his body of work. Like you said, from Cash Money when he was like 14, like you said. And then another thing I like about him, like he improved or whatever and stuff, because I really didn't care about his Cash Money stuff. But Carter 1, Carter 2, Carter 3, he really stepped it up lyrically. And like he said, he was a workaholic. I mean, for like a 6-7 year span, he was on everywhere, on everything or whatever stuff. And he was doing what he do. So I gotta give him his credit or whatever and stuff. And he he had the crown in the South for a while. I mean, it might be Future or somebody like that now, but he had it. So I gotta give him his due.
Well, I do got a question. I mentioned that to me, Mystikal belong in the conversation. To me, it seemed like you don't believe he belongs in that conversation. Am I correct?
Well, you kind of when we talk about it, you kind of swayed me a little. I mean, I would give him an honorable mention. I don't think he would be in the. He probably be the next person I would, next in line or whatever. Yeah. I mean, but I see what I
honestly think
though.
Lyrically, he better than all of them.
You think he better than Scarface?
Lyrically, yeah.
What?
I don't think Scarface is good lyrically. I don't think he's great lyrically. I think Mystikal can go.
You think he better than Ludacris lyrically too?
That's arguable. Because Luda showed on his posse because when he was with Nas and Jadakiss that he can hold his own.
I made you a good remix.
Because in my opinion, he out-rap both of them.
Yeah, on that particular record, yeah,
I know it happens. I mean,
Nas
Beanie Sigel had gave Nas that work too. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Oh, we'll talk about that another time. But you tell the backstory to that.
We ain't gonna discuss the backstory to that right now. We gonna move on to the probably the most debatable one we gonna have, and that's the Midwest/North. Midwest on up. Oh man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Number 3, I honestly don't have an answer for. I got 2 names on my paper, and that's Common and Drake. Common, he from my city. He a real, conscious rapper. He don't really try to push for the radio too much, and when he did, he gave us The Light, the track he had with Erykah Badu, and lyrically, he's one of the best all time. My only knock on him would be, maybe he a little too hip hop to be considered amongst the greatest of all time. Like I do feel like you do gotta kind of play with the radio a little bit more. You do gotta kind of, make some R&B posse. Because like I said, he had one with Erykah Badu, who was probably, she was his girl at the time. So that's probably why it came, But, he had a classic battle with Cube and them. And, that's why he number 3.1 on my list. And it was hard for me to leave Drake out. I think Drake is the golden child. It seemed like everything he touched turned to gold. I mean, he made a song recently on his album and it became viral, the Kiki challenge or whatever it's called. This dude got, I can't name many people who got more hit songs than Drake. And I would probably leave him off because he sings, and he not just strictly hip hop. So if I had to choose, you put a gun to my head, I would probably choose Common over Drake. But this was tough. I also want to give an honorable mention to Twista, who didn't make my list. Number 2, Mr. Make America Great Again, Hadwell himself, Kanye. Kanye was that dude when he came out. I mean, who can argue, his first few albums? I mean, College Dropout, Late Registration, like, those are classic albums. And the fact that he can produce so well, dude just got hit songs everywhere. As much as, as controversial as he is, I heard him say, he a musical genius, and I agree with him. He done produced for everybody. He done been on everybody's album. He has a label where, what is it, Good Music, where I think he done had 2 Chainz was on there. Big Sean. What's the guy from the Clips? Pusha T. Yeah, I think
Common was on there for him.
Common,
John Legend, but
and he got all type of music. He got the R&B tracks, the real conscious music. He just a man. And number 1, the great white hype himself, Chicka Slim Shady, Eminem. Skill for skill, he don't agree, but skill for skill, when it comes to putting the pen to the paper, you might name 4 or 5 people better.
All time.
What? Eminem can write his ass off.
Only 4 or 5 people.
I'm just talking about strictly putting pen to the paper. I mean, as Redman said in the interview, cats don't want it with him. They don't want it with him.
All right.
I mean, he number 1 on my list, but I do want to say something that I've been saying for a long time. If I did a top 10 list, he would not be on there. He's number 1, I think, in the Midwest, but none of the people that I have in the Midwest would be in my top 10. But he wouldn't be in my top 10 because I can't relate to Eminem. He makes music that I can't relate to. So from that standpoint, he wouldn't be in a top 10 list. But if we just talking about Midwest rappers and we just look at the list of all the people that came from the Midwest and we did the little checklist that we spoke about, there's nobody that can do it better than him. So I'm gonna let him start his hating of Eminem because he obviously got something against him.
I don't got nothing against. I just don't. I
don't see it.
The number 1. No. All right. Well, listen. Well, number 3, I got Common or whatever and stuff. Like he said, he one of the best lyricists of all time or whatever, and he got a pretty solid catalog. Got Resurrection or what else, classic album. Probably B, or if it's not classic, it's close to classic. Finding Forever, the one behind B. One Day It All Makes Sense. He got the longevity. He been doing it for a long time. I agree with him. Like you said, he maybe should have dabbled in the commercial realm more. But that really, not him or whatever stuff. So I get it or whatnot. But yeah, as far as Midwest rappers go, he definitely deserves to be in the top 3. Number 2, I put Eminem up there. That's only because the list is short, or whatever for Midwest rappers. Don't get me wrong.
You threw Nelly on the list.
You gotta be crazy. He good. Don't get me wrong or whatever and stuff. He act like I don't think he good. I think he good or whatever. So I think he a good lyricist or whatnot. I like a few of his songs, but not, like you said. That's the thing. I really can't relate to his music. And I mean, as far I can't listen to a whole album with him or whatnot. So yeah, the relatability probably is what throw me off. And then some of the singles that they let him get away with, Slim Shady, please, some of that garbage or whatever stuff. They just let him get away because he Eminem. And I ain't gonna lie,
I rap Jay-Z.
Renegade. Yeah, but it wasn't like that.
It wasn't
It wasn't no slaughter. But now that I listen to it again, Jay-Z did pretty good.
He did.
And I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna say it. I think part of his appeal because he white or whatever. And so I think if he was black or whatever, I'm saying people still think he good, but I don't think they'll put him on a pedestal that they do. I mean, he's like the Larry Bird of hip hop. I mean, he good. Don't get me wrong, but
if he was black, he'd be Canibus.
No, I ain't gonna say that. no, I ain't gonna say that. But I think he good though. But like you said, I can't deny, say his commercial success or whatever and record sales. Like you said, he's well respected by all the other top MCs and lyricists, and he didn't collaborate and held his own. Like I said, he good. I ain't taking nothing away from him or whatever. But I don't know. But number one to me, I got Kanye. Now he not the best rapper, but like I was saying earlier, as far as putting songs together, well, when he in his right mind before, I guess maybe after his mom passed, I think that like affected him or whatever. But like he said, college dropout, late registration, the graduation, and like he said, other things, the production he did on Blueprint 1 and things he did for Twist or whatever or whatnot. He just a great song maker. Stuff he did with Beyonce, Alicia Keys, John Legend, Nas, Pusha T. So like when he like in that right mind state, he wanted the top song maker. So I would get that to him too. And another thing, he like came out of nowhere or whatever and stuff. Of course we know he started on production with Jay with the Blueprint, but nobody didn't know he was gonna, go where he went or whatever and stuff. I mean, so I gotta give him his credit or whatever and stuff. So like I said, that college dropout, late registration, the graduation, 3 great albums. I mean, even on some of his later stuff, I can't really deal with the whole album, but he got some songs sprinkled up in there too. So I have to get him number one.
I will admit, after listening to your soliloquy on Kanye and sitting here thinking about my reasoning for putting Eminem number one, I do believe I should switch them. I do believe Kanye is probably the best all-around rapper to ever come out of the Midwest. The fact when you said something that hit home with me, you was like, I can't listen to a whole Eminem album. I'm like, how you gonna be number one? And I can't listen to an album.
Exactly.
So, and Kanye did have some like relatability early in his album. A lot of us was, college dropouts that, left school and did something else, and how many people done got into car accidents and this. I think I am gonna switch Kanye and Eminem. So
now all we gotta do is get you to switch Jay and Nas, and then you'll be okay.
But it's not gonna happen. So
and take the game out, and
we're gonna sit down and we're gonna get you to listen to all the Game's whole catalog, and you're gonna tell me.
I agree with you. Lyrically, I agree with you. He probably is the best rapper from the West. I probably as a lyricist, I agree.
So what is it that he don't have then? I mean, not to go back to the West Coast.
He ain't got no influence. Where's his influence or his footprint? What did he add to? He ain't add nothing.
First of all, you got to remember, he's following suit with, after Ice Cube and Snoop and Dre, all the people that paved the way. So he wasn't necessarily gonna have that same type of impact they had. But don't act like he don't get forever hit songs. I mean, them 2 cuts that he had on the radio. This Is How We Do It, and What was the other one he had?
What, Hated to Love It?
Hated to Love It. Don't act like
Yeah, the one 50 Cent said he wrote for him and gave him to him.
he said he wrote the hook for Hated to Love It.
He said he wrote the whole song. That's what he said.
Game said he a liar. So, but either way, those songs are cemented in history.
That was how long ago was that?
How long ago?
In 2000
So
what, 5 or 4? Oh, what you start with this Snoop? This dude had one classic album, Doggy Style. I agree with you. I probably put in my top 10 all-time rap albums. Okay, he had a couple songs on Murder. I mean, he's dropping like he sprinkled something here and there, but stop.
Beautiful.
But these one songs you talking, these singles you talking about.
Who on the West Coast though am I supposed to put over him? Too Short?
Ice Cube, Tupac,
It was arguable.
Dr.
Was
Dre.
over him. Dr. Dre can't be over him.
Well, because they ain't a rapper.
And you talk about him, he got 2 albums.
But both his 2 albums, besides Doggy Style, his 2 albums better than any other album Snoop made.
Doggy Style better than the Chronic and Chronic 2001.
Okay, I give you that, but what else? The Chronic 2001, the Chronic better than all the rest of Snoop catalog. Watch this. I got you. Name me 2 more Snoop albums. Just the names of the albums.
Dog Food and the Dog Fight.
Wow. Oh,
The game is to be sold, not to be sold. Don't act like I know how bad the albums was.
Oh,
so
thank you.
that's the reason why I know the names
Especially
of
that
them.
No Limit stint.
Oh yeah, he should. That wasn't nothing good. But Snoop is an icon. You know, we gotta give him his respect. He's still making music. He's still somewhat relevant.
Yeah, because he was Martha Stewart and all that. Yeah.
Either way, you know that's. I might need to put that as a criteria on the list, but
I gotta put that on there. He was on Martha Stewart, on the soap operas. Okay.
So, but we're gonna wrap it up here. Wanna again ask y'all to subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments on whoever it is y'all have, listed as y'all top rappers from each region. Or you can just copy and paste my list to your comment section. I mean, it's the actual right list. So, but I'm Sly Jones signing out. Co-host always sometime me Rob Brown.
Peace.
We'll catch y'all next episode. Peace.